history has taught us anything, it's that you should not short William Shatner. The guy's got a new hit CBS show, it looks like. Obviously, Star Trek is still very popular these days. And now, Priceline, which he's been endorsing for years, stock just keeps surging near another 52-week high. What are people talking about there, Howard? It's just amazing the run that this company's had.
I think there's a lot of people just watching. I think it's hard for people to buy stocks that have moved 100, 150 points. I think people are in awe. I think what happens with great stocks is people talk about them, but so few people own them.
Right.
There really is only one Priceline, one Apple, one Netflix. So as much as people talk about them and huddle around them like the water coolers that they are, very few people own them. And if they do own them, it's hard to own them because they move so fast.
Right.
So again,
people
it's just
trading
one of
in
those
and out
that people,
more, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those that people are in awe of.
Right. Do you get the same sense with Expedia? I mean, that's one that has also done well, not as well as Priceline, but I mean, there are some compelling, good trends despite the concerns about the economy and consumer spending. Online travel seems to be doing well, not just because of the momentum play, but because earnings and sales do seem to be improving, amazingly enough.
Yeah, it's a great point. I own in my portfolio, but it's very volatile, CTRP,
Right.
C-TRIP. But here's what happens. The leaders get all the money. The institutions flow just like moths to a light. They flow to the leader. Then they go, geez, this seems crowded. And then they go back and do their research. And it's just like AdSense for stocks. They go back and see which stocks are similar. And then they do their work from there, from the top down. So, now, if they've missed it, Expedia can play catch up very fast. But again, it's always interesting to watch the leaders. From the leaders, you will get your best ideas, if not owning the leaders themselves.
Right, definitely. And I think that's a great point, even for industries that are not necessarily classic momentum investing plays. And that brings us to healthcare. I mean, that's usually a defensive sector. You don't always get sexy, high-flying stocks hitting new highs all the time. But it sounds like in the community that there are people chatting about some generic drug companies, some managed care companies as well. Well, what's the story there?
Well, it's a demographic story. It's a powerful story. It's very hard for the novice person to get their hands around healthcare. I'm hoping that we can bring more people into. This is where the experts that don't think they're experts, that don't consider themselves experts, bring so much. A company called HealthSpring, HS. Nobody's ever heard of it. The company is managed care. The company is on fire. Now, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about it, maybe not to catch HealthSpring, but to catch some of the other managed care providers and the generic drug makers, because so much research has stopped and so many of the generic drugs have taken over for the real drugs. So again, a very difficult industry to invest in if you don't have knowledge. But remember, this is a huge trend. People have gotten a taste of wealth globally, really for the first time, and they want to live. That's the basic point of a bigger momentum theory. People get a taste of money, and you know what? They stop wanting to fight. They want to live, and living means spending money on healthcare.
No, it's perfect. I mean, we clearly have a lot of emerging markets where standard of living is improving, and a lot of that is due to healthcare. So some of these drug companies, maybe not necessarily the big guns like Pfizer and J&J's of the world, but some of the smaller generic companies might be the ones to watch.